Hey guys, Jason here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Ahsoka episode 3. It just premiered about 5 hours ago. I watched it when I woke up, and I have a lot to say about it. Not too much, not as much as the first two. I will say it's a lot more edgy. The acting, as it's already been criticized a lot by multiple people. So I'm glad I'm not the only one who's saying this, but I do think the acting is so basic and bland and just like really off-putting. I actually did rewatch Rebels recently, and just like comparing them side by side with the happy tone of Rebels and the goofy fun tone, and to this gloomy, dark, depressing tone of this show, it just makes me not really happy. This is meant to be a sequel to one of the best shows of all time, and it's just treated like a Zack Snyder movie, which I'm not a fan of. Everything in the show so far is great. The characters are great. Visually, they look awesome. The ideas, the concepts, and like the whole, finding the map to Ezra, going to a whole new galaxy, which is something we've never seen in Star Wars that I can ever recall in canon. Just like all the cameos, references, and just, this is made by Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni is one of the best people in Lucasfilm. But, all that surface level stuff, it's not enough to, fix all this bland acting, such depressing shit. It's basically what ruined the show. Every Star Wars show has a great premise, and then there's just something that ruins it. For Kenobi, it was obviously the writing and the budget. For Mando, it was the studio interfering. This, it's just bad acting. If the acting was better and the tone was fixed, this would be a masterpiece. This would be 10 out of 10. But for most people, this is just like a 3.5 or a 5 out of 10. It's just like really sad to see. And it's just such an easy fix. Get better directors, make the tone more lighthearted. There. This is the sequel. This is basically Rebels Season 5, and this is how you're handling it? It's, yeah. If you're just going to watch this, like, as I said before, watch the show without audio, it's honestly so much better. It's just it's alright, let's start training now. You gotta be aware of your surroundings. And also, like, the female empowerment, like, yeah, it makes sense. This is after Rebels. Most of the Rebels characters, most of the male characters are dead. But like, where is Zeb? We don't even know where he is. Where's Luke? They can't bring him in. It's just like, yeah, it doesn't feel natural. Like, theoretically, it should feel natural because there's it has every reason to be. But like, the marketing and like only girls can like Ahsoka, the female trinity. It's just like Disney doesn't know how to use female characters properly. Like, they did it good in Mando season 2 when it was 4 female characters beside Mando. I didn't even notice that. I didn't even notice that like there were 4 female characters and 1 male character fighting the Empire. I didn't even notice that. That's how good they did. But like, here it's so obvious that like, Zeb isn't even there, and just so much other things. But I feel like I should just get into the episode now. It's a filler episode. This is the 3rd episode in the season, which, it's nothing special. It's a filler episode. Nothing really happens. So for most of it, Sabine and Ahsoka just chill in hyperspace training, and the training scene is just really cringy and dull, and the acting is kind of shitty. So that was probably like the worst part of the episode, I have to say. But the stuff with the villains, with Merrick and Shin, and the way they treated Shin wasn't cringe. It's like she's actually an intimidating female villain, which is really surprising because the way Disney treats female villains is they just have to scream like River, which is just so cringe. So the fact that Shin, she's being calm, and she's even being a bit funny. She's saying, "Oh, well done, you almost got them. We'll finish them off." Like, that's really good writing, I think, for the villains. And Merrick, we still don't know if it's Starkiller or not. It's obviously not him, but it doesn't really matter. Uh, yeah, we get a cameo from Jason Syndulla, which I've been waiting to see for 6 years. When I first saw his character at the end of Rebels, I'm like, oh my god, that's such a cool idea. The son of Kanan and Hera, like, they could do so many cool things with it. But we see him, he has green hair, which I didn't think he was going to have because there was a Lego set that had him with brown hair. So I'm really glad they gave him at least dark green hair. Um, yeah, I didn't really feel anything because the show just has such bad acting and it doesn't even feel like Rebels. I legit just didn't feel anything. I'm like, oh, yeah, there's Jason. So that was disappointing. The show really needs to get better. Like, holy fuck, fix your acting, fix your directing. Holy shit. And yeah, we get this a space battle in space, obviously, because Star Wars. Um, Sabine just feels really off. She's acting so immature and like she doesn't even know what to do. She screams, "Woo! I got one!" Like she doesn't even feel like the same character anymore. Like Sabine would never, cheer when she kills someone. That's something Ezra would do. She's not that cheerful. Sabine's like really meant to be like a really edgy character, and while she is edgy, there's a scene where she takes a drink of like some space liquid and then does something really weird with her mouth. What was the direction there? Just drink and then do like a really cringy smirk. Like, oh, that was so cringe. I hated that scene. And like we get some more stuff with Hu Yang saying, she's not force sensitive, she'll never be force sensitive, and they're trying to like say, oh, maybe she will have the force, which I really hope she doesn't. It's just, yeah. Now that I think about this episode, the acting, this whole show, it's been really disappointing. I know there's only 5 episodes left. We're only 3 episodes in. Still, this makes me feel sick. Like even like watching it is fine, but like actually recapping what happened and saying it out loud just makes me go, oh, fucking shoot me. But I hope next episode's gonna be cool. There's gonna be a lightsaber fight in the forest, and you know, still really cringe. But anyway, there was one more thing I wanted to mention before I ended the video, and there was a really cool scene with Ahsoka in space. She was basically in a space outfit, and she was floating around with her lightsaber, deflecting bullets from a ship, which was really cool. It reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy a bit. And I will say they were a bit more like cheerful. They were actually smiling instead of just smirking and going, "Yeah, we're strong." There was actually like a bit of banter between uh, Sabine and Ahsoka, so I thought that was like probably one of the best scenes out of the show so far because it didn't feel like the actors wanted to kill themselves because they were so depressed. So I feel like that was yeah, very good choice. That should have been most of episode 1 to 3, and yeah, that's it. Very disappointing, I will say. But hopefully next time you'll see me review episode 4. If I don't review episode 4, then that means it's shit. So there you go.